So like I was saying, decimals are parts of a whole. What you've learned so far about numbers since you've been a wee little tiny boy and girl in kindergarten is ones, tens, and hundreds. Raise your hand if you agree. Okay? That is called place value. We've been doing place value since we were, before you even knew you were doing place value. So what I want you to see here, so does this look like a number chart or a place value chart that you've seen before? Okay, well, I'm adding something to it now. Anything to the left of this dot or decimal, and I never want to hear you say dot, I never want to hear you say decimal, I never want to hear you say point, it's and. Because you'll have your whole, whatever it is, and some pieces. So like when you're doing, for example, I'll give you an easy example, okay? When you're saying $1, 25 cents. $1 and 25 cents. That 25 cents represents 25 hundredths. It's 25 out of 100, right? Because how many pennies are in a dollar? 100. So this right here equals 25 hundredths. It's 25 pieces of that 100 pennies. Does decimals look that confusing? No. If you just keep thinking about how many pieces there are in your whole, there's always going to be 100 pieces in your whole. So if I had the number 2, how many pieces are in your whole? 200. Ah, now they're getting it. So in order to understand decimals, I'm going to use pennies and dimes can help you understand tenths and hundredths, which is the next to place value, tenths and hundredths. Dimes, 100 pennies equals, you told me already, 10 dimes, which equals how many dollars? $1. 100 pennies equals $1. 10 dimes equals $1. 1 penny is 1/100th of a dollar. Thumbs up if you agree. 1 penny is 1/100th of a dollar. Okay? 1 dime is 1/10th of a dollar. Thumbs up if you agree. Awesome. So when you're looking at visuals here, I want you to see this box has how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there's these little copper circles in each one. What do you think those are? There's pennies. So this is a visual way for you to see pennies and dollars and how decimals are formed. Okay? It's the easiest way to understand it. So it says 1 penny equals 1/100th, or 0.01. So if you were to say 1/100th, it would be wherever this last number is sitting, that's what you say. Wherever that last number is sitting, you say that place. Just like in our tens. Name off tens for me. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So when we're saying like 67, we say the place it sits in first, don't we? So when we're working on the other side of the decimal, we're going to say it last. Now, zeros in front of the number are placeholders. Zeros on the other side of the number, don't change it. Wherever the number is that's the place. So how would I say this number? If I put up a number up here, we'll practice it together. Say that out loud. Hundredths. You say the number. How would you say that number? Just without any decimal point or zero, how would you say that? 6. Which place is it sitting in?
Hundredths.
You don't say 0.06. That would be like James saying that. We don't want to say that. 6 hundredths. Now, how many hundredths can I have before I have to go to thousandths, do you think? Can I put a 10 in that spot? I would say 9 hundredths, and then if I had to go to the next level, it would be what? Thousandths, and it would be 1 thousandths. It's just like place value to the left, but it's smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And let's look at that. So here it says 1 penny equals 1 hundredth, or 0.01. 10 hundredths, or 10 out of 100 equal parts, is 1/10. So 1 of 10 equal parts. So here, right here, you see there's 10 equal parts. There's 10 pennies. So tenths and hundredths is all about these visuals. And what you need to see here is that there's 100 pennies in each one of these boxes. There's 100 pennies here. There's 100 pennies here. There's 100 pennies here. 100 pennies here. And 100 pennies here. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
Okay. Each row, each one of these rows has how many pennies? 10. Each row has 10. So if I were to color, just like we've been practicing fractions, this is my pizza. Here's my pizza, right? The square pizza. And I have cut it into how many pieces? 10. 10 pieces. If I were to take one of them, what did I just take? 1/10 of the pizza. Well, let me tell you something. You can say 1/10 like this, or you could say 1/10 like that. It's just like when you say 25. You have 25. You can write it 25 in words. And you can write it in expanded notation. So this is the same as the decimal, 1/10. It's just another way to write it. You following me so far? Thumbs up if you're following me so far. Good job. Now, when I move to this next picture, I have 2/10 filled in. So I have 0.1 plus 0.1 equals 0.2, or I have 1/10 plus 1/10 equals 2/10. But I also have how many, if I look at this one, if I'm looking at just this row, I'm looking at tenths. But if I'm looking at the whole thing, what do I have? 10 hundredths plus 10 hundredths equals 20 hundredths. So what I want you to see is that 2/10 is equal to 20 hundredths. Isn't it the same thing?
Yes.
It's the same thing. You're saying the same thing. It's just like saying 25 in words, 25 in digits. All right? So if you keep looking at the next pattern, ooh, this one's kind of tricky, number 3. It's at 10, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have You have 10 hundredths, yes. You have 10 pennies. You have 10 more pennies. Plus you have 5 pennies. So you have how many pennies? Hello? Yeah, talking to you guys, yeah. 25 hundredths. That's what this little section right here represents, yes? But it also represents what? 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 5/100ths, because you can't say half of a tenth, can you? Equals 25/100ths. Now, I had to make these common denominator of this. That's why it ends up being 25/100ths. Are you seeing what I did there? Okay. So here you see 0.1 plus 0.1. It's actually 0. So 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 5/100ths equals 25/100ths. Or oops. So hopefully you're starting to see the patterns that I'm showing you here. So if you have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 75, see how they have this quartered off here? 25, 25, 25. So this little area right here is 25/100ths plus 25/100ths plus 25/100ths equals 75/100ths. There's 75 pennies there. Thumbs up if you grasp that much. Hoorah. So 25/100ths plus 25/100ths plus 25/100ths equals 75/100ths. So the fractions are exactly the same as the decimals. It's taking up the same amount of space. So the whole reason for us looking at these pictures is to see the similarities, okay? So that's tenths and hundredths.